everyone, I hope you're okay. Today I thought we could sit down and have a little bit of a chat about prepping for and starting university. I went to university quite a long time ago. I started university in 2009, which is 8 years ago. So I went to university a very long time ago. However, I don't think things have changed that much, and I did learn quite a few things during the kind of few weeks beforehand leading up to going, and then my first few weeks there, and I kind of thought to myself, I wish that I'd known a few of these things. So today I thought that I would talk about some of the things that I did learn, and hopefully it will be useful to any of you who are maybe getting ready to go to university, or perhaps even if you're thinking of going in the future. So I'm going to split this video kind of in half. So half of the advice and tips are going to be things for prepping for university, so things to kind of do in the weeks leading up to going, and then the other tips will be things to do whilst you're there. So I'm just going to get started so we're not all here for too long, and we're going to start off with some advice for prepping for university. So number one, I would try and find out who you're living with. Now I'm not sure if all universities do this, but I know that a lot of them do tend to have Facebook or social media groups where you can see who's living in the same accommodation as you, which is pretty handy. I remember when I got my place in my halls, there was a Facebook group, and we were all invited to join the group, and that way we were able to kind of talk to other people in the halls, which just kind of put my mind at ease a little bit, because I was like, there's nice people living here, I am going to be fine. If you are a bit anxious about going, then I would definitely try and recommend looking into this, because if you can find someone you get on with, or even just chatting to a few people and knowing a few familiar faces when you start, will honestly be so helpful, because it's not going to be scary and daunting, and then you've already kind of broken the ice a little bit. Number two, apply for your student finance as soon as you can. If you haven't applied for your student finance yet and you are watching this, I want you to, as soon as this video is over, go and apply for it, like right now, because it is so important to make sure you do it in time. I know it's a bit of a faff, it takes a little while and it seems really complicated, but it's so worth doing, because it just means you're going to be getting your money in time for the start of term. So number three is to apply for a student bank account. Now I would definitely recommend opening a student bank account, because you usually find that they have a lot more benefits than just a regular current bank account. I opened one with NatWest, I still bank with NatWest 8 years later. Even though I am working with NatWest on this video, I would still 100% recommend them regardless of if I was working with them or not, because I am still banking with them today. The reason why I went for NatWest, and the reason why I think their student account is one of the best ones out there, is because of the benefits that you get when you have a student bank account with them. So the current benefits that they are offering at the moment are a coach travel card. So this means you get a third off coach fares with National Express, which means you get discounted coach travel up and down the country, which is amazing. So this makes your life easier and also cheaper too, because it means that travel will be discounted if you are, say, travelling back and forth to home and university, if you're going to visit your pals at different universities, if you're going to visit a boyfriend or girlfriend. It just means that you can get about a little bit more and it's not going to be as expensive. Number two is you get an interest-free overdraft, which has to be arranged. But this is a really good thing to have as a bit of a safety net. I was really appreciative of my overdraft when I was at university, because it just meant things were like when I was waiting for my student loan to come through and perhaps I had like rent to pay, it just meant I didn't have to worry so much, because I did kind of have that safety net of an overdraft. There's £500 overdraft for the first term, and then you can apply for up to £2,000 after that. What I will say, and I'm going to sound like your mum when I say this, is don't treat this like free money. Don't just think, yay, I've got an interest-free overdraft, let's go spend it. Just keep it as an emergency and keep it as a safety net to kind of tide you over. So the third really handy benefit is their mobile banking app. Now this wasn't around when I went to university, because obviously I literally went to university like 100 years ago. However, I do have the app now, because I do still bank with NatWest, and it is literally the handiest thing to have ever. So there's quite a few like really handy benefits of it. So it has this really cool feature, and it's called the Get Cash feature, and basically it means you can use the app to withdraw money from ATMs without needing a bank card. So say for example you're on a night out and you forget your card, you can use the app to locate ATMs and then withdraw money, which I think is amazing. It's really good to know about in emergencies. Also, you can pay people, so using your contacts you can pay people using a mobile number through the app. So say for example if you're out and you owe some money to your friend, or you suddenly realise that you need to pay your landlord, or you need to pay your mum, and you're like, oh, I'm out at the moment, you can literally just do it using the app. I use my finger to unlock the app, which means number one, I feel a little bit like a spy, but number two, it just means I don't have to faff around with passwords and remembering things, but because it is my finger, I feel like the app is very secure. So yeah, so having the app on my phone, it just means that you've got everything with you all the time, and it means that you save a bit more time because you don't have to go to the bank or faff around with your laptop. So yes, I think that is a really big benefit as well, having the app. But yeah, definitely check out their student account. I think it's really good to have, and it's very useful. Yeah. Definitely recommend that, and I'll obviously pop all the information down below so you can go check it out for yourself if you want to find out a bit more info. Tip number 4 is to do your shopping before you go to university. So this is in kind of two senses really. So number 1, I would go and do a bit of a food shop kind of the day before or on the day that you go to university. I know that you're probably going somewhere where there will be a supermarket, and sometimes it's kind of a bit of a nice thing to do for all you and your flatmates to go and do a food shop. But I just think the first couple of days at university are so crazy busy. The last thing you want to be worrying about is going out to get food. So I went and shopped for some kind of essential bread, milk, cereal, noodles, pasta, potatoes, that kind of thing. Very basic things, but at least I know I could make meals and I didn't have to worry about going to find a food shop. Also, I would recommend buying all your stuff that you'll need for your room beforehand, because if you're anything like me, I wanted to make my room as homely as possible from the get-go. So I bought stuff like duvet, like a duvet set, towels. What else did I buy? Stuff like fairy lights, I had photos printed, all bits and bobs like that, and it just meant that I was able to decorate my room from the first day, and it really did help to have a nice room. It kind of just made me feel a little bit more at home, if that makes sense. Tip number 5 is to budget, and yes, I am going to sound like an absolute grandma, but one thing I would do is either before you go to university or in the first couple of weeks is to sit down and work out your finances. So work out how much you're getting for your student loan and your grants, work out how much your rent is, work out how much you need for stuff on your course, work out any other things that you may need, and then budget. That is so easy when you get that student loan in because it's such a big amount of money. It's so easy to think, oh my god, let's go crazy, let's have a shopping spree, let's do this, let's do that. But I would just say, try and be sensible. So next up, these next tips are going to be for when you're at university, so it's for those first few weeks. So these are kind of tips for settling in and things to kind of do on this first kind of few days. So tip number 1 is to mark your utensils. Now I know this sounds a little bit weird, but like I said in one of the previous tips, you probably will have to buy things like utensils, pots and pans and plates if you're sharing a kitchen, and the likelihood is that you will all go out and buy exactly the same thing, which is basically basic white plates. Now this can get quite confusing when it comes to washing up, to using them, especially if it's shared storage. And if you don't want to go into your kitchen and find that everyone's used your plates and you haven't got anything, then what I would do is just mark them so you know that they're yours. This is just using a bit of nail polish, and I literally just on the underside just literally put a splodge, and it just meant that I knew which plates are mine because I could just look and think, yep, they're mine. And I think it also puts off people from stealing them, because there's always going to be someone in the halls who doesn't do any shopping and just thinks they can use everyone else's stuff. So I think this kind of puts them off a little bit because they know that the person will know if they've used their stuff, if that makes sense. So tip number 2 is if you are homesick, then keep busy. I was so homesick the first couple of days. I remember I cried and cried and cried. I had a red nose like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I cried on the phone to my mum and asked her to come pick me up. But by the end of the first week, I was already starting to feel a little bit more settled. And one thing I kind of wished that I'd done was keep busy. In those first couple of days, I didn't want to do anything, and my university had a very flexible timetable. The first week you could kind of go to stuff if you wanted to, but it wasn't compulsory. And because it wasn't compulsory, I was like, I'm gonna sit in my room and cry, which just wasn't the right thing to do whatsoever, because it made me feel worse. So I definitely recommend going to as much as you can, whether it's workshops, lectures, seminars, if it's events, meetings, just go to them, because it will keep you busy and it will keep your mind off things. Try and go to nights out, try and talk to as many people as you can, even if you really don't feel like it, because honestly, keeping busy, getting out and being sociable will make you feel so much better. So number 3 is to go to those first few lectures, regardless of if they're compulsory or not. They may seem a bit pointless and you may think, well, what am I actually going to get from these? But usually you find that you get quite a lot of crucial info. You find out about the course, you find out about the university, you get to meet your teachers, you get to meet your classmates, and I do think they're good to go to. They're also good, obviously, like for the previous point, because you keep busy. So I would definitely try and go to them. Don't see them as pointless, because you may actually learn something really useful. Also go to things like the Freshers Fair and Freshers events. You usually get a lot of vouchers and discounts at these kind of things, so they're really handy to go to. And there's usually free pizza. So if that doesn't inspire you to go, then I'm not sure what will. But yeah, university, it's not easy, but it's a very fun experience, and you will experience nothing like it. I know that as soon as I graduated, I thought, I kind of want to go back, and just, you know, it will go so fast. So yeah, just take in every single moment. Just, yeah, enjoy the student discount at shops, enjoy being able to have an afternoon nap and being able to watch daytime TV, because as soon as you graduate and you become a proper adult, those things are long gone. But yeah, so I am gonna go now. I really hope this video has been useful in some way to any of you who may be going to university soon, or like I said, if any of you are thinking of going to university in the future, hopefully it has been a little bit useful. Please let me know if I've missed anything at all, or if you have any other questions about anything. You can either leave them in the comments down below and I will get back to you, or you can tweet me. My username is @dizzybrunette3. I'm always on Twitter, so there's probably a better chance of getting a reply on there. But yeah, if you have any advice regarding, like if you have any other questions about university, or you want to know anything else, please just let me know, because I will be more than happy to answer your questions. So yeah, so I am going to go now. I really hope you have enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give it a like if you did enjoy it, and to also make sure you're subscribed to my channel as well, so you never miss my new uploads. But I am going to go now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.